everyone, so I have Bowie here with me today and he is just looking so cute. I cannot wait to change him. I've been really looking forward to some time in the nursery, so I will be changing him into this Ralph Lauren sleeper. It is really cute, but it is a 3-month size, so it might be kind of baggy. We will see. And then we're also going to change his diaper and give him this adorable new little pacifier that I got for Christmas. And while we're working on that, today I want to talk about a topic that has been very popular in the Reborn community for a while, and that is, can Reborns replace real children? And the topic of this video kind of just sounded kind of ridiculous to me. It's just like, you know, who would really think that Reborns, this like inanimate object, can replace a child? However, I have been seeing a lot of channels, and mine kind of included, where there are a lot of outsiders who look into the Reborn community and ask the question, well, why don't you just have real children? And that's kind of a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day, because I have some strong opinions on that as well. If you guys are new to the community, I would definitely recommend not asking people that question. It's a little intrusive, if you ask me. But anyway, carrying on with that, I am going to kind of share 4 reasons today why I think that Reborns are not at all a substitute for a real baby. And, you know, some of you guys might have come into the community kind of thinking that they might be able to, or maybe, you know, when you first started, you thought that people had Reborns because they were trying to replace them with real children. So I understand that, you know, while I'm kind of just like, oh, that's ridiculous in my mind, you know, I realize that, you know, there are different views and I'm not trying to disrespect those. But I think the first biggest thing that comes to my mind personally as a, you know, early 20-year-old, is that there is absolutely no responsibility involved with having Reborns. I feel like with any living object, there is some sort of responsibility included with it. You know, like my plants, I have to make sure that I water them every week, and my dogs, you know, they need to be fed and they need love and playtime and water and shelter, and walks and, you know, things like that. They are quite a bit of work and a big responsibility, and I think the biggest ultimate responsibility is raising a human life. Like, that is so stressful, and Reborns aren't stressful. They're a very calming, relaxing hobby because there is just no ties to it. You know, I mean, of course there's things that you shouldn't do with your dolls, but, you know, I don't stay awake at night thinking like, oh, did I water my Reborns? You know, like there's really, I mean, it's so basic. If you have them in a safe place, you know, where they're not going to get too dusty or anything like that, you know, you can leave them for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they will stay exactly like how you left them. And so there's really, yeah, there's no strings attached, and you get to have fun without, you know, actually having to do any real work that you have to think about. And I think that's really nice because, you know, like, I love my succulents, I love my plants, but even sometimes I'm just like, oh, like all I want to do is go to bed, and I know that they need to be watered. So there's never just like that feeling of like, oh, I feel like I have to do this with my dolls because they don't need anything. And, you know, the second thing is, you know, that kind of goes along with that first reason, is there's really no interaction. I mean, you can interact with your doll, but your doll can't interact back with you like a real child. So I feel like, you know, when you do have something that you're responsible for, there's a lot of interaction that goes between there. Like, you know, I can kind of relate with my dog, you know, like I get home and she starts spinning around in circles, and then, you know, I get excited and start rubbing her belly, and there's that interaction between us that kind of creates like a special bond, right? And that's the biggest thing that I think people say is a good thing about having a child, is even though there's all that responsibility, people really like that interaction, because, you know, I can definitely see that sort of a thing, you know, with how much I enjoy spending time with my animals. That's a really big, important piece, that if people are looking for that special, you know, mother-child bond, they're not going to find it in a doll, because the doll can't, you know, whatever babies do, hold your finger, or hiccup, or laugh, or burp, or, you know, whatever it is that newborns do. I had to really think about that for a minute. Definitely tell it's the end of the day here. But anyway, you guys kind of get my point, is, you know, there's not really much there. And with interaction, I believe any sort of living thing that you have an interaction with, you kind of get progress, right? Like a progression of, you know, intimacy with a partner, or a progression of friendship with a new person that you meet. And with reborns, there's really no progression. I mean, the best progression that I can even really think of is like, oh, I didn't notice that you had that cute little birthmark on your ear. He doesn't have a birthmark on his ear, but I was just trying to give an example. Is like, that's kind of like getting to know your reborn better. But yeah, there's nothing really like building up, which is why, you know, it's so easy to kind of buy and sell sometimes, is because even though, you know, we kind of fall in love with the dolls as art, you know, if we needed the money, and the money is there, you know, in the doll, then sometimes that's what has to happen, because we really just haven't made a relationship with the doll, like a real, like, human being. I think that sounds kind of silly saying it, but I think that you guys kind of get what I'm trying to go for here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that I was gonna change his diaper. I don't change my doll's diapers very often whatsoever, but he's been wearing this one for a long time, and like, I don't know, after a long time I feel like diapers start to kind of I don't know, get like worn, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm being just kind of weird now. But anyway, so that was kind of my third reason, is, you know, there's not really any relationship to build. Like, even with plants, you know, there's kind of a progression. Like, you get the plant and it's really small, and now it's huge. So there's even kind of an interaction there, even though it's like not like verbal or physical, or the plant is like trying to interact with you. It's really just, you know, progression, I guess. And my fourth reason is, you know, these are art pieces. They're not really meant to be anything but that, I would say. I mean, they are an interactive art piece, for sure. Like, I wouldn't, you know, just be here changing a painting. That would be a little odd, if you ask me. Which I guess this hobby is kind of odd, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's like, you know, art definitely gives us emotion, right? Like, when you look at a painting of a stormy ocean, and you look at it and you can kind of imagine the feel of the ocean spray, and you can, you know, imagine hearing the lightning and the thunder. Even though, you know, art can be so vivid and so beautiful that it makes you feel a certain way, it's not the same as actually doing it, right? Like, it would be different if you were actually in a beach storm at night. So same thing kind of with the dolls, is these mimic what a newborn would look like, and you can imagine, you know, this, like, a lot of people kind of create like stories or ideas of what their dolls would be. I think it's kind of fun too. It's a little creative. But like, oh, you know, this doll would be a very content sleepy doll, or a very content sleepy baby. And you can picture it, right? And you can kind of imagine, oh my gosh, these Wonder Wafers smell so strong when you first open them. I kind of like it when the scent starts to wear off after a week or two. At first they are a little potent, but that's okay. But yeah, you know, it's not the real thing for sure, for many, many reasons. And think that these dolls can really replace any real baby. And that's, you know, that's my opinion for sure. I'm kind of curious if there are other opinions out there, or maybe at one point in time you had one opinion and now you've kind of switched to the other. I would be very curious to hear and kind of hear your reasoning behind it, because I do like to hear opinions other than mine, of course. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I hope that you guys are staying warm wherever you live. It is extremely, extremely cold here, which is why I'm putting him into the sleeper. And I'm also using this really soft blanket, even though it doesn't really match his outfit, because I kind of just want to, let's see, I can not get this right, holy cow, hold him afterwards. I think this is right, it better be. If not, whatever. He's not real, so he will be just fine. You know what is like kind of a cool thing though is, you know, they're never gonna dirty up their clothes. So even though he's wearing white, he's not gonna poop or vomit all over it. All right, there he is. Oh my gosh, he looks so cute. I kind of like to, you know, like pose the pacifier, like if they were to like, you know, just spit it out, kind of where it would land. But he looks so handsome, and this isn't as baggy as I was expecting. Well, anyway, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.